Welcome to the Crucible. You are an Archon, hailed by some as a god, respected by others for your wisdom. You were born, or perhaps created, on the Crucible, a world in which anything is possible.
Welcome to Realm...
Welcome to Realm Play, where we review card games and board games.
I am Candace.
And I'm Jacinta, and we're reviewing Keyforge Age of Ascension, that was published by Fantasy Flight Games in 2018, but it's now published by Ghost Galaxy.
This is a 2-player starter set. Before we get into the review, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and make sure to smash that like button. Oh, don't forget to stay until the end, where we give you our final thoughts.
The starter set comes with 2 decks, all the tokens you need to play the game, and 2 convenient game mats for all the zones you'll use in play, clearly labelled for you, where you buy boosters and build a deck of your own for a constructed format. It's a 2-player card game, unlike other card games where you buy boosters and build a deck of your own from individual cards, or even deck building games where you build a deck from cards collected during gameplay. Keyforge is played with already constructed decks that come in packs that you can purchase. You collect entire decks and not just the individual cards. Keyforge is a 2-player card game that, unlike other card games where you buy boosters and open packs to construct your own deck for a constructed format, or other deck building games like the DC deck building game where the game is building a deck to defeat villains and whatnot, each pack you buy for Keyforge is its own fully constructed deck based around an Archon, the aforementioned Archons. So you collect actual decks and not individual cards.
These decks are based around an Archon, such as Mr. Pridefilled, the Accomplished Dagger, the Quick Guildmaster of Muckbridge, Never Before Seen Butterfly, Huxley, and Finnegan, Longtooth Center Preacher. Each of these Archons are represented by an identity card that has the deck list for that Archon printed on one side, ensuring that you're able to keep the deck contents correct.
The starter set comes with 2 decks, all the tokens you need to play the game, and 2 convenient game mats with all the zones you'll use in play clearly labelled.
When we were unboxing, we noticed that the cards and pieces were of high quality. The cards felt smooth and sturdy.
Because when you buy fake Pokemon cards, they feel like shit.
Don't they? That's exactly why I'm putting this.
Some fake cards feel like sandpaper.
I hate that. I hate it with a passion. Yeah. Okay, so you completely understand.
Absolutely.
My favorite thing about Keyforge Age of Ascension is the art. I went onto Instagram to try to find the artists, because I couldn't find a website for Keyforge, so I figured Instagram was the next best thing. And I found one of the artists. His name is Nicholas Aviori, or Nick. I'm gonna butcher it, and I apologize for messing it up, but I think it's Nicholas Aviori. And then another artist is Leandro Franci. So I would consider looking them up and giving them a like, because their art is amazing.
Some of the art definitely looks like it's been inspired by like Warcraft and other classic fantasy games. If you look at the Orc clan, I don't even know what they're called, the Grognars. There's obvious maybe Warcraft influence there, maybe some 40k. They're very orky, which I liked. So to set up to play, each player shuffles their deck and then places it next to their identity card. You determine randomly who goes first. You can coin flip for it, or if you have dice handy, you roll off for first, and then you draw 6 cards. The player going first draws 7, but you can only play or discard 1 card in the first turn.
Players alternate turns, standard for a card game. Each turn consists of 5 phases or steps. Firstly, you forge a key if you have stockpiled 6 of the orange gems you generate during the game, called Amber. If you have 6 Amber, this is not optional. You must spend the Amber to forge a key.
You then choose a house. The houses you can choose from are at the bottom of your identity card, and you can only play or discard cards of that house that you select during the next phase, basically. These first steps are just upkeep steps, and the actual gameplay begins in step 3. In step 3, you can play, discard, or activate cards only of the house that you have chosen as your active house. If you've gone first, you can only play or discard 1 card. Cards don't cost anything to play, but they do come in with summoning sickness, so you can't attack with them or tap them to use any abilities that aren't on play. This might seem a bit wild, especially if you draw an absolute nutty opening hand, but having a dominating field doesn't actually matter unless you can generate amber, as you can't attack your opponent directly to gain any kind of advantage. And if you do run through your deck quickly by playing or discarding a bunch each turn, you simply shuffle your discard pile and put it back into your deck zone to continue playing. No deck out strats in this game.
The last 2 steps wind up your turn. Once you're done with the cards you wanted to play or activate, you can ready them all and then draw back to 6 cards in hand before the turn switches to your opponent. So going into our final thoughts, I feel like the question we really need to answer is, who is the game really for? And is it worth it?
I found the gameplay to be quite slow-paced. Nothing happens until players start to generate amber, and you only generate amber from specific cards. It feels like one of those 8-hour board games like Gloomhaven, but in a card game. And I love those board games, but I like my card games to be faster paced, so I didn't really vibe with Keyforge. I do like some aspects of it though, like collecting decks from a pack instead of building your own. This allows for new players to pick up the game with incredible ease, as it eliminates that I don't have any good cards wall of entry that other card games have. The gameplay is also fairly straightforward. There's no long chains of effects or activation ordering. You simply play a card and do as much of its effect as you can.
Because we didn't play through a whole game.
We didn't even play through it.
Because
several hours, right?
Right. We were playing we were playing for several hours, and we didn't even get through a full game, so we can't even tell you how long a game lasts. Is it overall fun? Yeah, if you have the time for it, but I have a baby. We can't always just play games for hours. Would you say that it's easy to play?
Yeah, it's easy to play. Like, comparing it to other card games, so it doesn't have the complexity of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Digimon's also quite easy. Digimon can be a bit of a pain in the arse, actually, or Magic or anything like that. It's easy to play, but it's long to play. So you would only play it, it's a game night. You bring out, and there's only 2 of you, you break out Keyforge for a game night or something like that.
I would say that it's easy to play, but I was getting confused with all the different types of artifact cards. I had a hard time trying to figure out where the cards went, but that's because I am new to card games. I'm still learning. I kept having to grab Jacinta's cards to figure out what they are, so I could figure out how to play the cards that I have against hers.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess. I'm an experienced card player. I knew where things went, based on like what was on the cards. I did have to go back and they kept mentioning on flank, but on flank wasn't a term that was actually mentioned anywhere in, like, it's not a highlighted term in the instructions. You have to pick through playing cards section to find out what on flank means. And on flank is just the cards on the outside of your monsters are on flank. The cards on your flank. Which seems like simple, right? But I was like, they're using on flank like a key term here. And it's not a highlighted key term. It's not a key word. What? Yeah. And there are a lot of effects that use it as a key. Like, they're like, yeah, do this on flank. Do this to on flank. But it's never highlighted anywhere, and it's not easy to find. And I think for so many effects that refer to on flank creatures, it needs to be highlighted. It's a key term. It's being treated like a key term. Give it the key term treatment and highlight it. Make it bold.
So to wrap this up, as much as we liked the art, we are going to give this a thumbs down.
Ooh. For me personally, right? It's not a card game for me. I love card games. I don't like this one. I guess other people will, obviously. I saw online that there are events and stuff for it. So it obviously has an audience, and maybe it is for you. Who knows? It's definitely not for me.
If you didn't subscribe already, even though we asked you in the beginning, please subscribe and hit the notification bell and smash that like button.
Smash the crap out of that like button, bruh.
Yeah, we asked twice. That means you have to do it. Thank you so much for watching our video today, and we hope that we will see you again.
Stay tuned for more content from Realm Play.
See you later, guys.
Let me be creative. It's a card game. Let me film from an angle you can't see any cards. You look really cool, you can't see the board. Candace, please.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Stop this conversation.